All right, ladies. So, and I'm going to bring up one more thing, right? So, hello, everyone. And as you know, my name is Katina Morrison. I am the founder and the CEO of Nurse Loves Essentials LLC, a chronic illness coach, blogger, and the host of the Inflamed Sisters Thriving podcast. And I am also a chronic illness warrior myself, living with rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, to name a few conditions. When I started my first public page on June 4th of 2021, I wanted to create a community that inspired, educated, and motivated women living with chronic illnesses to stop hiding and to start thriving. And to my surprise, within 2 weeks, followers became my clients, and I went from zero to more than 2,200 niche-specific followers in 1 year. I did all of that while maintaining a full-time job as a corporate nurse without burnout and flare-ups, something that many of us worry about. So let me tell you a bit more about myself. I've worked in the healthcare industry now for more than 22 years, and as a registered nurse for more than 16 years. I have worked as a professional coach for hospitals and insurance companies, doctor's office, clinics, to name a few, for more than 20 years. I know I don't look it, but it's true. And in 2021, I quickly learned that there was something missing in my life, forming a connection with others that was truly impactful. As a registered nurse who left the hospital and the clinic settings years ago and took on work at home roles that first started with health coaching and then with major insurance companies, transitioned into the data side of things, I got further and further away from what really motivated me and what I was passionate about. And it turns out, while I only had a small personal page of less than 200, I noticed people were creating successful coaching careers, teaching people about their life, teaching people how they could really, teaching people about things like confidence, just to name a few things. And the truth was, I never saw myself as an entrepreneur. I was always the person who thought I would be a nurse, who would be working until I retired and on Social Security, whatever the case is. But I did research and I learned that as a nurse, I already qualified as a coach by the state law. And that research also propelled me to see that nurses were already starting their own businesses. So I was behind. One day, after spending a week thinking about the direction that I wanted to go in, I actually thought that I wanted to end my professional career, and I wanted to focus on my purpose and my passion. And that's when I noticed that not many people are actually teaching people about how they can improve their health who live with chronic illnesses and had a nursing background and look like me. So it turns out a sister found out that there was a niche for me before I even knew what niche meant when it was applied to social media strategy. I have been coaching my family and friends for decades, but it was time for me to expand my reach, as my dear friend Ashley often says, and as we know from the scriptures, that we've got to expand that territory. I started my first public page in June of 2021, and within 2 weeks, the person who became my first client asked me to be her coach. 2 weeks later, two more clients or followers became my clients, and then consistently booked with me from that time. So I knew in order for me to be successful, I would need to learn how to use social media strategy. And that's why I scheduled my first one-on-one session and hired my first coach. Yes, as we all know, coaches need coaches, and many of you on here are coaches. The training I received helped me to identify my niche, craft content that reached my audience, create a successful blog, and develop a consistently booking coaching business. And social media, my social media platform, as well as brand deals, grew within less than a year. Most of that before I even had 1,500 followers. In fact, my 3-figure business turned into a 5-figure business. And to my surprise, it continues to grow. As a result, I was able to create multiple streams of income, create courses such as this one, and I am now coaching not only chronic illness clients, but coaches, brands, and businesses, and as I mentioned, even garnering brand partnerships as a result. As I talked to many brands and businesses and coaches, though, I learned something was missing. Their journey was not looking like mine. Most didn't have a clue about how to use social media strategy effectively. Many had purchased coaching services, but to be honest, it was the wrong coaching services that were not able to guide them to how they could speak to their niche specific audience. And many of them were ready to give up at times because they weren't experiencing growth not only in their pages but within their businesses, and they doubted whether someone would ever value them at their value, would ever see them to be worth their actual value so that they could actually benefit financially. So I wanted to do something about that. As coaches reached out to me and said, well, girl, how are you doing what you are doing? How did you do this? I noticed that hey, this may actually be another niche space for me. This may be a space in which I can actually assist others. One thing I know for sure is this: if I was able to accomplish this all while maintaining a full-time job, that in less than 2,000 followers at the time, I know that I can help you to do the same. And why I know this to be the case is because many of you are also my one-on-one clients. You were my starting foundation for knowing that I was meant to be assisting women, not just with their health, but doing something that you haven't seen done yet, combining a coaching program that actually works with women who has multiple chronic illnesses and helping them to find balance as they grow their businesses to thriving businesses that attract their niche specific followers, as well as assist them in converting those followers into clients while increasing their engagement and maintaining their health. No burnout and no flares is what we want to do as we thrive. So in this case, I'm so excited to be your guide on this journey and to start this kick off right. That's going to be a wake-up call that it doesn't always start exactly with social media. It's no trades or tricks or gimmicks. It's hard work. Many of you have been with me throughout this journey and you've seen the hard work that it's taken. And as we get into our discussions, we'll learn things like what really may be impacting your success and steps that you need to take to go into that direction of thriving. We'll also address what those issues are and key things that you can do to improve it. I'm here to be your guide. My only request is that you stay open to learning, that you be present and consistent, that you are willing to stop hiding and start thriving, because this course, it was designed to assist chronic illness warriors to thrive in their businesses while using social media strategy. Like I said, we're here to learn the strategies that are going to attract those niche specific followers, increase engagement, and convert followers into clients. Tools that will help you to do it without stress, burnout, or flares. And in this community of amazing, beautiful, impactful women, because we're not content creators, y'all. We are professional impactors. In this community, you're going to have an amazing source of support and accountability to thrive. So remember, like I always say, sisters, and I said it before, we may be inflamed, but we're still here. And as long as we're here, we're going to thrive together and thrive together always. So I wanted to take this time to have each of you, just for a brief moment, introduce yourselves. Let's give you about 60 seconds to say what your name is, what your business is, as well as what you desire to get out of this program. It's just 60 minutes. I hope that 60 seconds. I hope that you feel comfortable with that. But that'll give us a brief break in between me going into that next section of it that's going to specifically speak in reference to niche. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpin myself for a moment, because we want this to be a community of support. So I want many of you to know that some of you are coaches, some of you are business owners, some of you are brands. I really want you all to actually connect with each other, because I see so many ways in which each of you are going to be able to actually support each other, whether it be as we progress down the line with lives, whether it be with having that sister that you can call on and just say, girl, I don't know, can you give me that extra support? That's what I want you to be able to develop, those bonds and those relationships, because you are all handpicked. Okay. This was not put on a sales page and said anybody can get up in here. It was, okay, let me talk to each of you and see how you can also not only benefit from this program, but how you can also benefit one another. So are y'all down to introducing yourselves? Okay, so I got some head shakes, so that means we got 60 seconds. Let's go with who I have first on the board. I'm sorry, sis. Stisha.
Hello, hello. My name is Stisha Jean-Baptiste. My business, I specialize in heat transfer and sublimation t-shirts, mugs, aprons. I do it for businesses and personal orders. Yeah, that's less than 60 seconds, but.
And then what would you like to do to benefit from this program?
I'd like to learn how to navigate social media, see how I can get more clients through what I post and what I say and do online.
Thank you. That was good, girl, and less than 60 seconds. So let's keep it. That was nice. So next, who's on my list is Kadeen.
Good afternoon, ladies. So Kadeen Cooper, I'm a career transition coach, trainer, and speaker. I'm based in Toronto, so I think I'm probably the only one that's based outside of the US. And that's my business. I'm a career transition coach to ambitious women who are kind of stuck on the corporate ladder. And what I'm hoping to get out of this course, I think, is community. More than anything, probably community and support from other kind of fearless warriors who are also inflamed, and just a lot of teachings and learnings around social media. Because as someone who kind of accidentally became an entrepreneur, I didn't set out to be here. I just left corporate about 2.5 years ago, and kind of I'm excited about this venture, but have lots to learn. So that's me.
Thank you, Kadeen, and I appreciate you for sharing. Also, everybody's keeping it at that 60 minutes, so let's keep it on. That's 60. You see, I keep saying minutes. It's seconds, y'all. It's seconds. So the next one I have on the list is Imani.
Hello, everyone. I have lost my voice because I have an upper respiratory infection, but I'm here. But my name is Amani Harris. I reside in Warner Robins, Georgia. I am a coach and advocate to guide other women to help them to advocate for themselves and others with Godfidence, because you need the confidence from God to be able to stand up and reclaim your voice and use it so that you can get everything that you desire and that God has already assigned for you. So I'm looking for community and accountability as I'm basically restarting in my business as I continue to recover from a bad car accident. So glad to be here. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you so much, Imani. And you have a beautiful background. So you're probably gonna have to teach your coach how to get that beautiful background right on there. See, all of us can learn something, ladies. So the next person I have on my list is Coach Ashley Nicole.
Hello, everyone. I am Coach Ashley Nicole, the founder, master trainer, and online coach for RA Warrior Fitness, where the mission is to empower women living with rheumatoid arthritis and other autoimmune diseases to improve their quality of life through faith, food, and fitness while eliminating negative self-talk and strenuous exercise. And I reside in Dallas, Texas, and I am here for the community and also just to soak up, everything that Katina has to offer, because I have watched her grow and blossom in the last year. And I know I might go over 60 seconds, sis, but listen, I just got to tell you how proud I am of you. Like when you were letting that song play before you hit record, I was just sitting here just full, just looking at all the beautiful women on the screen. And it just really fills me up to be in this space. And I'm so proud of you, sis. Sorry. I'm so proud of you, sis. So thank you.
Thank you. Now, what you're not gonna do is have the coach crying on this call. It's not me. I can let y'all cry, but y'all not about to fog up these glasses. Okay. I'm so happy to have you here. I have watched. We've been in this since my first month, and I'm so happy to have you here. You are an amazing woman, and thank you so much for your support. All of you, this community means a lot more than you think to each of you. Like, there's not anything like this, because we really all Inflamed sisters up in here wanting to thrive together. So thank you, sis. So now we have somebody who really my sis is. Okay, when your family join the program, you doing something. Okay. Teresa Dunstan, okay, tell us, girl, introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Teresa Dunstan. So my baby sis is who all you know as Katina Morrison. And so I'm very proud of her, Ashley, as well. Girl, you about had me tearing up too. And I'm the biggest crybaby too up in the room. So my name is Teresa Dunstan, and I spend my days, honey, dazzling lives $5 at a time, okay? I run a business and have been established since 2017 where I am in direct sales, and I accessorize you ladies and make you sparkle, okay? So I just realized like it was something as a mother of four that raising my family and everything, and I deal with lupus. There were some times that in caring for my children that I would just buy accessories and that would make me feel good. Okay, so basically I started what I'm doing as just something on the side, did not know it was going to turn into a business. And so I am here to get the consistency down with social media on IG. I'm here to actually move from what I am in, like I'm established in my business, but there's a new business that I'm getting ready to launch. And so really just trying to find that audience that will become not only just clients of mine, but as we see with this fabulous community that Inflamed Sisters Thriving has become, to develop a similar type of platform as well. So.
Thank you,
That's it.
sis. All of y'all are my sisters, but like I said, I only have one sister. So next we're going to have the next person, Andrea, or it's Andrea or Andrea. You tell me how to pronounce that, girl.
You have it right, Andrea. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Katina. I'm happy to be here. My name is Andrea. My brand is Wrapped in Chic. And Wrapped in Chic is all about encouraging women to embrace who they are, their unique selves, and pay just as much attention to how they're doing inwardly as outwardly. Because sometimes, we pay so much attention, we want to present well, but how are we really doing inwardly, emotionally, mentally, physically, and more, right? And I have a love for inspiring others. I love quotes, head wraps, style, and all types of things like that. And so I also just launched my curated collection on my website, wrappedinchic.com, June 16th. So I'm really excited about that. You can find some unique curated collections as far as head wraps, and more apparel will be coming in the future. So I'm happy to be here and nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much. And we are glad to have you, as we are going to make sure that this launch and is as successful as it should be, because honey, she's got some quality products, y'all. Everybody on here, y'all, you need to check out their links, because all of y'all have quality products and services, and each of you are unique. because many of you don't have similar products. They're actually very diverse and different, and very quality, because I'm waiting for my head wrap, that one she got on, to come, because y'all gonna see me in a head wrap very soon. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We have Jessica.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Katina. My name is Jessica Mitchell, and I am the founder and CEO of Level Up Health Coaching. So I'm a certified health coach and have been one for many years. And over the years, what I've always done my best to do is to support women who are working to manage weight and disease so that they can have a long-term transformation. You know, getting healthy is not just for a season. I've always believed that, but there's a specific set of strategies that go beyond food and exercise. And those are the ones that I implement into my programs and want you to implement into your health journey, again, so that you can effectively manage weight and disease for good. And so I've been working with Katina now for a few months in her one-on-one program, and it has been invaluable. So I just had to be a part of the group coaching as well, because I know that there will still be things that I can learn to reinforce what I've already learned. And then specifically, since she's been giving me assistance and guidance with my online programs, my own coaching program, I'm now ready to move into group coaching. And I know that being here is going to help me with that. We've done a lot of work already with my niche, and I'm ready to really step it up in making sure that I'm connected, effectively connecting with my audience. And so I'm looking forward to learning more, and thanks for letting me be here.
Oh, you are welcome. There was no let. You had to be here, sis. So next I had, who was showing up, was Jackie.
All right. Hello, my name is Jacqueline Lovett, and I am the owner and CEO of Love It Natural, which is a natural hair loctician lock salon. And I also am the owner of Love for Health, which focuses on helping women to pour into themselves, because we're so busy. We have so much going on every single day, but it's very important that we take care of ourselves by means of self-care. I encourage holistic nutrition as well as Zumba dance fitness. So I am very happy to be here. I reside in Stockbridge, Georgia. And I am, let me see what else. I'm looking forward to learning from each and every one of you. And I'm so happy to be here. I've been with Katina and working with her now for quite a few months. What is it, 4 months? This will be our second time. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into what all she's helped me do, not yet. Because boy, I'm telling you, I feel like I am on fire with her, you know, in my corner. So it's great being here, and I yield my mic.
Thank you. And from the clubhouse terms that we're used to. And yes, she on fire in the right way, y'all. Inflamed in her business, okay? Not inflamed in them joints and in those muscles and things. So I'm so glad that you're here too. So who's showing up next on my screen is A1 from the day one, Nikisha. I almost said the wrong last name. I was gonna say Ponder, but I know it's a different last name.
It's still Ponder. I never changed it. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm in my car. As you can see, it's pouring down rain. So I'm Keisha. I own a personal brand. It's called Humbly Vain. I do want to start a podcast in the future. I don't have a lot to say right now. Because I'm nervous, but hi everybody.
Well, thank you.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, sis. We are happy you are here. And I know you're not one for all the attention and things. So I appreciate you for joining, and especially from your car. I'm telling you, y'all are dedicated to this. So next, who's showing up on mine is Andy Byers.
Hey guys, so my name is Andy. I am the owner and CEO of Chronic and Iconic Coaching. I am also the owner and CEO of Invisible Apparel Co. It is a clothing line for chronic illness warriors. I reside in Virginia. My camera will be off and on often because pollen right now is assaulting my face, and I don't appreciate it, but it's okay. What I do is I teach chronic illness warriors a holistic methodology to heal their bodies, and I encourage them and motivate them to find happy in every day. It's a movement, y'all. So I'm out here just spreading happy and helping people find their happy. I'm just excited to be here for the community, for the sisterhood. And it's been a long time coming, but I know that I'm supposed to be in this space. And so I'm excited to grow with you guys.
Thank you so much. And I love that she really is spreading happy, y'all. Sis, pollen isn't attacking it. You still beautiful. Either way, sis. So next, who's showing up is Brittany.
Hi, my name is Brittany. I am an educator as well as a self-care coach for autism moms. And my goal for the program is to basically build my business, build my coaching program, and create digital products. I mean, I have a lot of goals, but those are the ones I'm working on first. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of the program, Katina. I appreciate it.
Oh, you are very welcome. She is also one of my one-on-ones. Y'all, you have to be here, y'all. I want to add value to this program and to my one-on-one programs as much as I can. And it's so wonderful to have all of y'all. So the next person that I'm showing is Pam Manti.
Hello, Queens. I am so excited to be here. Katina, thank you so much for this opportunity. I have waited so long to be in a community of women like this. So what I do is I help Christian women plan, write, publish, and market their books with purpose. And that came by with my desire to really leave a legacy for my family. I was born with sickle cell disease. I grew up, believing that I wouldn't live long. So writing books was something that I was very passionate about, to tell my story. Nobody could tell my story like I could. So I became very passionate about that, and that turned into a business, able to help over 150 women become #1 best-selling authors. And I have needed a community like this. I had been looking for one, actually. I was like, if I can find one, I'll build my own. But God connected me with Katina, and I knew immediately that this was a divine connection. So I'm looking to get the consistency, to get the support, the community in this group to help me thrive, and also to connect with women, like-minded women who also need my services. So thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to connect with you all.
Thank you, sis. And I'm telling you, y'all, this is an amazing group. Like literally, as we get to the end of this, I'm like, I can't believe this. This many amazing women, sisters, thriving sisters, and all of us, this is just amazing. So now we have my sis, Martita.
Hello, everyone. My name is Martita Robbins. I apologize for not being on camera, but I'm driving and trying to do so safely. I am a recently retired public educator, and now I am working full-time in my business. My business is Coach, Consult, Create. I am a mindset coach as well as a mental health advocate. And I'm also an independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay Cosmetics. So my mission is to teach women self-care, help them transition through life, make the important and sometimes difficult mental shifts so that they can transition through life with ease and elevate for success. I have been with Katina for about a month now, working on rebranding my content on social media for this particular part of my life and business. And what I'm looking forward to as I work with her and as I work with you all is finding clients who have been looking for me. I know I was looking for someone like Katina, and she showed up, and now here we are, and we have taken it to another level in a short amount of time. So I'm ready to show up for the women who are looking for me to help them to do what they are ready to do in life. And I yield my mic.
Thank you so much. I tell y'all, I'm getting fuller and fuller as we proceed. So I think I'm down to my last one that is online today, and she's another one of our shy ones, but you got this, sis, you got this. My dear good sis, Tammy.
You said it, I'm one of the shy ones. My name is Tammy. Hi, everybody. And I have, I actually have two businesses. I've been in the legal field for 30 plus years. And then I have another business that I just opened in May that's, it's not as productive. And I like to, and it's not as productive because it's on social media, and I'm a very private person. So, you know, being that it involves a lot of social media, I would like to build up the self-confidence to be able to navigate social media and bring in more clients in that business.
And we are going to do that together, sis. So I think that wraps up everyone that is currently on, unless I miss someone. And if you're a shy one and you're just going to act like you act like you didn't speak up. It might come to me later that I missed someone, but I think I went through everyone. We do have a few people that are missing. One is Christina Montoya, who is the arthritis dietitian. She wanted me to tell you all that she is excited to come and join us next week. She was not able to join this week because she had an event with the Arthritis Foundation to speak, but she'll be with us next week. We also have another one, which is Stephanie Francois. She'll be starting with us next week as well, but wasn't able to make it this week due to a meeting. But there's a few others that I believe is coming as well. So now, y'all, I appreciate you all for sharing and introducing yourselves. We did that in a nice, timely fashion. So that means that it's time for me to start digging into the important things. And that important thing is going to be thriving is in the niche as I present that presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to share my screen. Let me make sure that I get all set up. Yet it's where it needs to be. So I'm going to share my screen. I'll share this, share sound. And I think I'm going to need to minimize here. And then I'm going to press here. All right, everybody. So welcome to Module 1, everyone. Nurse Loves Essential presents Thriving is in the Niche. Now, many of you know this who are working with me as my one-on-one clients, but we've got to dig into this a bit more. So thriving is in the niche, and this is our first module. So what will we be discussing in this module? Why is niche important? How do you find your niche? What are your content pillars? Do they exist? What are the benefits of content pillars? I'll also be providing you an example of a niche and with content pillars as well as avatar. What is your zone of genius? Something else that some of you may know about, but we're going to learn a little bit more about it in this presentation. So why is niche important? So your niche is going to be what you are known about. So it is vital to establish one. With so many brands and coaching programs out there right now, it's important for you to stand out. And how do you do that? By having a niche. Your niche, it will connect you to your purpose, connect your purpose to your power. So what does that mean? It means it's connecting what you were meant to do with your abilities to be the best fit for your client or customer. So most of us know, as we have taken this journey, the importance of walking in our passion. Many of us have other careers and professions, but what has drawn us more, where we find ourselves most energized, is when we're actually doing what we feel like we were really meant to do, what we are passionate about. So when we do that and connect that to our best fit client or customer, oh, we are definitely thriving. We're on fire. We are doing exactly what fills us and doesn't deplete us. So having a niche, it ensures that you are walking in your purpose and specifically connected to a community that you're passionate about serving. There's nothing better than to have an audience who can best benefit from what you have to provide, and those who are really going to be engaged with you. Your community will be strongly attracted to you when you're clear on what your niche is. And I have learned this personally, that by focusing in on the chronic illness community, the autoimmune disease community, and on women in particular with these types of conditions and businesses, et cetera, that it has attracted people to me, because I have shown that I know that I cannot serve everybody, but I was meant to serve these specific women. So a niche is very important, because at some point you have to recognize that you cannot serve everyone. But when you choose a very specific avatar to attract, you end up being connected with an even larger audience. What's my experience with this? Well, my particular experience was when I had my first one-on-one call with my very first coach. She actually assisted me with digging into what my niche was. She told me very clearly, well, Katina, after listening to my story, of course, she said, well, Katina, you can either be the health lady or the RA lady. The health lady is going to lose people every week because you're not talking on the specific topic that they want you to. But the RA lady is going to connect with an audience a specific audience who is going to stick with her from start to forever, because it's not about it's not about a specific topic, because you're talking about what benefits them regularly. And when she said RA lady, as we know, that's rheumatoid arthritis. And I then converted that to discussing on topics such as autoimmune disease and chronic illness in general. But this is a very specific audience that I attract. So I've learned this personally, and I want all of you who feel like if I cue into a specific audience, I'm going to lose somebody. No, you won't lose anyone. You will actually gain even more who will be receptive to what you have to teach. So it's so important that you realize the importance of a niche. So how do you find your niche? This is so hard for some of us. It's so hard, y'all, but we can do it. First you need to look at who is your avatar. So your avatar is the client that you want to work with and can support the best through your services or product. What are your avatar's pain points? Consider your avatar's problems, their concerns, their fears and needs. Think about the effects that their condition and the limits that they may face, like from mindset, life, physical abilities, and health. So when we think of our avatar, it's who is going to benefit the best from your services. And then when we think of your avatar's pain points, it's those specific things that is affecting them from reaching a specific goal. It's those things that actually your product or service squeezes right in and fulfills and provides the solutions for. So when you're considering your niche, you need to really be identifying these things. And as you have your workbook, these are things that you can be making note of in the note sections or in the specific sections that are labeled for this. So first, who is your avatar? What are your avatar's pain points? And then finally, is there a connection between you and your avatar? So oftentimes your avatar is a version of you that you can now guide. What people want is not a teacher or not a dictator or not someone who is going to tell them exactly what to do, but someone who can be a guide for them, or can be an example for them, or can do something that fulfills a need or want that they have that that person is really actually connected to. Knowing this will ensure that you genuinely care about this person and are able to provide solutions that work. So what is this meaning is when you are connected to a specific population of people, when you're actually connected to them, it's easier for you to do what works best for them. It's easier for you to meet their needs. It's also easier for you to actually engage with them, attract them, hold their attention, and be able to convert them from your audience or following right into being your client. So when we go from identifying who your avatar is, we then need to go and take a look at what are your content pillars. And by the way, is anyone willing to come off mute to make sure, have you been seeing all of this clearly?
Yep, we can see it.
Yes,
Okay.
we can see and hear you clearly. Thank
All
you.
right, excellent, good. All right, thank you. So after considering what your niche avatar is, we then need to go into what are your content pillars. And oftentimes, not only do people have problems with identifying who is their avatar that is a part of their niche, but also they have a problem with identifying their content pillars. So I wanted to provide a slide that just gave you a summation of what content pillars would include. It's going to include at least 3 of these, and it's understandable if it's just 2, but we like to, and I prefer to, and I recommend that you go with 3 things. And in the following slide, that's going to give you the reason why. So these pillars, it can be at least 3 things that your avatar values and finds important. What do they need most help with? Problems they face. And as mentioned in the previous slide, when we're identifying who our avatar is, this is also consistent with what's important for our content pillars. So what are their pain points? Then what are the solutions that you can provide for them that work? So what are 3 things that you implement into your particular brand or program or items that you have that are going to really provide solutions to people? What are the resources your avatar needs to solve their problems? You know, we have several different types of businesses that is currently reviewing this program or within this program, whether you are a business that makes head wraps or has jewelry, or whether you are a coach or a book publisher. There are specific resources that you have access to through your program, and those resources might actually be things that are within you that you can provide to them. That's what you need to focus in on. What are at least 3 of those things that could potentially make it to being a part of your content pillars? And then how can you help them with removing barriers to achieve their ultimate goal? So think about what is the goal that your particular avatar, that client that can be best served by your particular service, product, brand, coaching program. What are the barriers that they're facing? And then what do you do within your program or with your particular products that can really help them to meet their ultimate goal? Is it their goal to be fabulous and glamorous and beautiful with unique, stylish head wraps or jewelry? Are they ready to really take whatever they have in their hearts, their mind, their souls, those things that they've hid from deep within, and start healing in order to finally use their journeys and their stories to motivate and change the lives of other women like them by writing a book? Do they have mindset challenges? Do they deal with imposter syndrome like many of us do? Do they live with self-doubt, self-limiting beliefs? What are those specific barriers? Because those barriers and your solution to solving those barriers may be exactly what could help them to achieve their ultimate goal. So next we have to think about the benefits of content pillars. So we talked about ways in which you can identify content pillars, but let's talk about the importance of it when we correlate that to social media strategy in particular. Y'all, content. While a niche provides a very specific audience, pillars provide an endless supply of content and inspiration. So when you have pillars and you choose at least 3 of them that are connected to your niche specific avatar, you will be an overflow of ideas and ways that you will be able to create content around meeting those needs. Remember all of those things I outlined as far as what will help you to identify those content pillars? Well, those same things can be what can help you to create your content. Using those types of questions will help you to plan effectively in advance content that you can use that will meet your ideal follower, who you can then convert into a client's needs. So then we have to think about message. Your pillars are the driving force for your messaging to connect you with your avatar, for that client who best meets and best benefits from your services. So it provides them the solutions to their pain points. When your messaging is on point within your content that is also related to your content pillars, you will be able to connect and engage more with your niche specific follower, client, future clients, and of course, as we call it, avatar. So think about making sure you've established content pillars that will direct your messaging so you're hitting what matters most to them so that you can engage with them. If any of you have seen my page, for the most part, engagement is very high with the majority of my posts because my messaging is hitting my avatars' pain points, their needs, their wants, what encourages them, what motivates them, and specific things that they want to know more about. So you got to check the temperature of your audience by making sure that you're providing messaging that is appropriate to motivating them to engage. So then we have content pillars give us direction. So it gives your content, coaching, and business focus and direction. You cannot be all over the place, y'all. We've got to be consistent. We will confuse the audience by thinking that we can talk about any and everything. You have to, having your content pillars, while it gives you a vast amount, an endless supply of content and inspiration, it also gives you direction so that, for instance, you know, if you're a head wrap person, you're probably not going to be talking about going to outer space. You know, I know that's a huge difference, y'all. I know it is. Okay, but you're not a science page. So you're not going to be connecting to science necessarily often to throw them off. If you are, so you've got to make your content make sense. So having these pillars, even though you may speak about things that look different at times, it will all bring it together. I can give you some examples, for instance, on my page, which, you know what, we're about to get into that. Let's go on into the next slide. Examples of for you, and it's my niche with avatar and content pillars. So a lot of y'all are going to understand this avatar because the truth is all of you have a piece of this avatar in you, which is what attracted you to me in one way or another. So let's go into it. My avatar, a woman with one or more chronic illnesses seeking to find solutions to thrive in health, career, and business. She is tired of hiding in plain sight. struggles with the imposter syndrome, and unsure others will ever recognize her true value. She has experienced trauma, discouragement, and or disappointment. Aware she cannot find balance between her health, career, and business on her own, she seeks help and feels connected to someone who understands her journey as her guide. Is that hitting one, two, or all of you in some type of way? Well, how I know it does is because my avatar is a version of me. I'm only just a few steps ahead. I am acting as a guide because I've been there or I'm going through certain stages of every piece of what this documents. That's why, if we start from the beginning of this presentation, I've expressed the importance of when you identify your avatar, that last point of it was, are you connected to your avatar? Because the only way that you can connect with and engage with them is if a piece, a part, or all of you is in their journey and story. And you are passionately engaged and dedicated to helping that person transverse that journey in a way that connects them to either meeting you where you are as their guide or exceeding you. My goal is always to help my clients, my followers, my audience exceed me, to be honest with you. And real coaches, that's what our purpose of being a guide is, and a continued what motivates us. So I've revealed to you all my avatar. Now let's dig in to my pillars. My pillars are focused on mindset. So as I've transitioned through this journey, I've always found that the very primary issue for my avatar, because it was the issue for me, was mindset. Identifying beliefs and barriers that may be stopping her from achieving her goals, walking in her purpose, doing what she is passionate about, and impacts her health. That's my first pillar, because to me, and from my experience, mindset is the foundation to all healing. It is the foundation for all growth. It is the foundation for success. So as you work on those particular issues that is affecting you mindset set wise, it can then produce the ability for a woman to overcome any barriers that may be affecting her health, her business, and her career. My second pillar is self-advocacy. So I help women to find her own voice and use it to do what fulfills her and improves her health, giving her the tools, confidence, support to be an active participant in driving her success in health, career, and business. So what does this mean? It means that my goal is to help a person to advocate for themselves in all aspects of life. And being able to advocate for yourself, you will also be able to find, have the tools that you need to find your voice, then use it. When you find your voice and use it, you'll then also find that success often follows. But you have to also trust that voice. And having a coach to assist you and guide you through that process is a surefire way to ensure that you get that success. So I become that coach, that guide that leads her to not only finding her voice, but learning how to effectively use it. And then finally, proven strategies for growth. So I provide individualized strategies that are customized to her abilities and strengths to ensure strategic growth without burnout, flare-ups, or stress. So for women who live with chronic illnesses, it is so important for us to be able to achieve success, but to achieve that success without burnout, flare-ups, and stress, because we know those are key contributing factors and sometimes the main contributing factors to inflammation, illness, sickness, disease, or dis-ease as they pronounce it now too. So that's where I become a guide to assist a woman in those areas. So when you see the full package, we went from the step of first identifying who your avatar is, and the steps of how you can find that avatar and the questions that you need to ask yourself. We've looked at the content pillars and how you can establish what your content pillars are by asking questions about specific things that leads you to those 3 things that you can choose. And then we talked about the benefits of those content pillars. And then I provided you my secret sauce in seeing what my particular niche with avatar and content pillars are. So you have an example now. In using this, it's very much so encouraged that you make sure that you choose 3 things. You don't have to choose what I chose, but you have to realize too that in anything that you do, what is going to connect with audience the most these days is mindset. But most of them don't know that you're selling mindsets, to be honest with you, in most cases. But if your content is hitting on their particular pain points, like self-limiting beliefs, self-doubt, whether it's a person who is dealing with mental health concerns, if it's a woman who is struggling to find barriers or wanting to break through, wanting to finally be able to achieve the things she thought that she would never be, and her mindset is keeping her in that area, finding ways to hit on that point without always saying mindset, that's what those content pillars are going to help you to do when you combine it with your avatar's needs and etc. But the truth is, for most of us within our community, mindset does actually sell if packaged appropriately. You will be able to sell it without selling. And then self-advocacy, having the importance of a person really advocating for themselves. This is very important in these times that we're living in. So how does your product, your service, all your program connect to improving a person's mindset and self-advocacy? And then we bring in those proven strategies for growth. When we say proven strategies for growth for your particular product, let's say you're a product-based person, how is your product the best at getting a person the quality results that they want? How is yours the best that makes them stand out from everyone else? So that needs to be a part of what you identify within your particular pillars. So I've given you, like I said, my secret sauce, but also how you can take these 3 things and implement it into your programs, or find 3 other things that may be beneficial. Because if you're a nutrition-based person, what are some of the importance of, connecting gut health, anti-inflammatory lifestyle, or whatever the case is, to meeting the pain points solving the pain points and meeting the needs of your niche specific client. So next we go on to what is your zone of genius. So I'm going to tell you, zone of genius is something that came to me in a coaching program that I was in, and it stuck with me. The only way that you will truly be successful is if you are working in your zone of genius. And this is why. In this zone, you capitalize on your natural abilities, which are innate rather than learned. These are natural abilities that you have that is a part of you. It's a part of your DNA, your genes. This is the state in which you get into flow, find ceaseless inspiration. That means content comes easy. Talking to your clients, engaging with your audience and and your followers, all of that is just easy because you got so much inspiration because you're in flow with your particular zone of genius. And seem to not only come up with work that is distinguished and unique. So you're not only doing what is special and unique to you, but it also excels far beyond what anyone else is doing. Each of you have a secret sauce, and those who have worked with me as a one-on-one client, I help them identify their secret sauce, and their secret sauce usually quickly garners them continued response from their audience: increased followers, increased engagement, people who will follow them from platform to platform. If they're on Clubhouse, oh, that person is in Clubhouse with them. If they're on a live, oh, that person is going to catch the replay or be there in the live. Even if it's only 5 or 6 people in the live, oh, that person is one of those, because they you are doing something that they haven't seen anyone else do that is like you. I encourage all of you to find your zone of genius and operate in it. And within that zone of genius, identify who your avatar is and who your content pillars are. Pull that all together, and you've got the foundation for a successful page, Instagram page, any type of social media page that is going to garner you not only followers, but followers that convert to clients, and an audience that is engaged and will follow you throughout your journey of your business. This particular book is by Gay Hendricks. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. At first, the book hit me and I was like, I'm not sure if I can really relate to this person, the particular person who wrote this book. But when I stopped judging the book and judging the author, because he was not me, or what I thought was a version of me, it really outlined to me some key things that helped me to identify how I could really get into that flow of ceaseless inspiration and could really stop also creating self-limiting doubts and beliefs that were keeping me from achieving my specific goals. And since reading that book, along with another very important book, which is The Mountain Is You, I have have made tremendous progress in the areas of mindset, and in the areas of imposter syndrome, and in the areas of not being my own worst, not being the person who discourages and keeps myself from achieving my goals. So it's Zone of Genius is one book that I have on the recommended list. I know at first it may not be some of our taste, but I'm telling you, when you keep reading it, it's actually an extraordinary book. The other, but The Mountain Is You is a must, okay? It is a must. So everyone, you have completed module 1 with me, and then we're going to next be going into part 2, actually, of module 1. This is part 1. The only way to thrive is with consistency, which is actually going to be in thriving is inconsistency. So in the meantime, I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to now bring up and share I'm going to share our workbook, if I can access it, which is here. Okay, so I'm going to share that. All right, so let me know if you can see the workbook.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, thank you. So in the workbook, Inflamed Sisters Thriving with Social Media, in module 1 of this book, it goes into thriving is in the niche, what we've just discussed today. When we go through it, you're going to see where I discuss thriving is in the niche briefly, which is summing up what we've discussed today. But then you'll also see where I've provided you spaces to be able to outline each of those important parts that are very important to you niching down. So who is your avatar? We went through it extensively in this, but you're going to be able to document it here. What are their pain points and problems? And then your content pillars, those 3 things. Then we talk about the zone of genius. I want you to really explain what do you feel is your particular zone of genius that can really contribute to you identifying your avatar, your identifying how you can best benefit your avatar with your content pillars. How do you perform in your zone of genius? So do you feel like you are like when you really found it, when you've been in that moment where you're really working and what you're really passionate about, how have you performed? Has it been without stress? Has it been without burnout and flares? What has it been easy? Do you feel energized? really document that. These things are going to be a foundation for you knowing that this is the zone that you are meant to perform in. I then went ahead and provided you my example so that you can see clearly that I have a very, very, very specific niche. The more specific you are, the easier it is actually going to be to connect with your particular niche specific follower who will convert to your clients. Then I gave you notes that you can write in additional space, because I get long-winded when I'm documenting and writing. So I decided to do that. And then what we're going to go into next is thriving with consistency. So next, not next week, but the following week, which I'll send out those invites and in the corresponding workbook to go with that. We'll discuss that. At the end of this month, that flexible masterclass that is a part of this program, the bonus, is going to be on Organize to Thrive. So I'm going to actually have an expert come in who is going to speak about how developing organization and planning skills that will support balance and success in content creation, and provide training on systems that can support improving the quality of your content. And then Thriving with Consistency is going to focus on consistency is not a one shoe fits all. So it has to be tailored to not only you, but most importantly to the individual goals of your brands and your community. So I also provided in this the links to you for you to access what is required. And it's the Mountain is You. I really feel it's going to be important as we go into these next phases that you read that book for sure. Suggested if you are a book lover, for sure, or someone who's ready to really understand this zone of genius a little bit more, is the Zone of Genius by Gay Hendricks. So this actually concludes Module 1, Part 1. Module 1, Part 2 will be following. And I am so excited that y'all have joined this journey with me. And I hope that you have benefited from this discussion. So as we go into this, did anybody have any particular questions or concerns? I wanted to allow time for a Q&A at the end of this session.
So I have a question. Okay, I'm all over the place on my IG page. I really need to get that together. So finding, like when we were talking about developing the niche and the avatar, that's something that I need to reestablish for myself. So with doing so, with already having a page that is established, is it okay to start over? Or you just pick up when you start seeing the changes that you're making, you just start picking up from the changes that you have established on that page and just don't worry about starting a clean slate?
Exactly. So this is the thing. When I started my journey, I was talking about diabetes. I was talking about heart disease. I was talking about acid reflux. I was talking about travel and, the health benefits of travel. But you see, I haven't talked about those things in a long time, but I did not remove it from my page. I left it there. So when you transition, it's no need to remove it or to, what it is to build a consistency from where you are now. So start now developing and utilizing your content pillars to change the trajectory of your page. So your page is going to completely transform when you start utilizing your niche, avatar, and content pillars to direct what your page is. But don't say, "Oh, I wonder what they're gonna think. Are they gonna be able to follow me?" Oh, they're gonna follow you, and those who shouldn't be following you won't follow you anymore because they're not meant to be your client. So don't worry about maybe losing a few followers either. The truth is, your goal is to attract your client who is in the best benefit from your services, not someone who just joined because they liked something that you did one day but don't like what you're currently doing now. They just may not be able to relate. But then take me for example, it's people who don't have chronic illnesses that follow me as well because they really see how the information can benefit them. So definitely don't delete it, don't remove it, don't feel like, what am I going to do with all this that I did before? You might find a way to refurbish it and repurpose it to fit your current method, your current methodology, or your content pillars and niche that you find you have established. So did that help?
Yeah, it did. I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi is acting up so bad. So were you able to hear me?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I heard you. So it did answer the question. Was there another question? Okay.
I had a question.
Okay.
I don't know how to raise my hand yet, but I did want to ask about the zone of genius. Is it a good idea if you don't know what it is to ask like close people, like, what am I good at? What do you think I'm good at? Like, is that a good idea or should I not do that?
There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, there's a name for it, but Katina can't think of the name for it, but it's not beta testing, but it's something else. But one of the other ladies in the group might be able to put the name up in the chat. But doing those type of surveys and questions is actually what can give you a clearer view of how others see you and what attracts them to you. Because you're often going to have family members and friends who always come to you for one specific thing. Market research, case study, yes, all of those, maybe cases, but I think it's market research. You're always going to have family members and friends who come to you for a specific thing. Those family members and friends who come to you to solve specific issues, ask them why do they come to you for that? What is it that they value in it? What about the way that you deliver it benefited them the most? And what keeps them coming back to you? That's going to be things that you need to document in that workbook too. That's going to help guide you into asking those questions. So yeah, that's an excellent way for you to get down to your niche, your avatar, and your content pillars. Really, if you've noticed, the way that I deliver a niche is really a combination of your avatar and content pillars that boom, voila, I can't even say it, y'all. Voila. Okay, it produces the the niche.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Yes, I have a question, Katina. So my question is in regards to, let me get on camera. There you go. So my question is about the content pillars. I was doing the work, going through the workbook, and I think I wrote a whole lot of things down. So is there a limit? Because one, if it's okay to go through some examples, is that all right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine, because that'll help some on the call too.
Sure. So I talk about positioning, how people need to position themselves and know that they are authors. Some people have books, but they don't believe that they are authors. They don't claim it. So I talk about that. I talk about how they can create multiple streams of income, which is profits and possibilities. But I also have, the space where I help them plan the book, write the book, self-publish, and also market it. So these are all different bits and pieces of the whole journey. So does that all become my content pillars, or do I need to narrow them down?
So what you might find when you are looking into your content pillars is that all of those things actually fall under 3 specific things. So when you outline and choose 3 specific things, find out how, because that last section of things that you said actually sounded very similar. So and this is something that, you know, I work specifically with my one-on-one clients with being able to identify a bit clearer, because we actually dig into it, and it might take us, you know, some of us wipe it out in the first session, some of us wipe it out in the, you know, second or third session, because it's really intense work that I go through in helping to pull that out of them. But those last things that you said actually sound like they fall under one particular category. Just like I have proven strategies that work, it can be many things that can fall under those proven strategies that work. If you didn't get that, you can actually have a content pillar that can be broad. To be honest with you, mindset is a very broad, content pillar, because it allows you to speak on various aspects of mindset, whether it be self-limiting beliefs, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, positive affirmations, journaling, you know, ways that you improve your mindset. Self-advocacy is actually very broad too, because it allows me to be able to talk about setting barriers, about hiring and firing doctors, about how it applies to business, career, and things. So just know, just because you have 3 content pillars, they can still be broad, and you bring everything under it. You're also going to make sure, as we get further into the program, how you can make your hashtags consistent with them as well, so that you're showing up in these appropriate areas, so people are starting to follow you for whatever reasons those content pillars are established. So having a broad, even though it's specific, remember your niche, your avatar is going to be a specific woman. Your content pillars are going to be specific yet broad enough for you to have ceaseless content and inspiration and ability to create a variety of things on it. Does that explain that for you, Pam?
It does very much. Thank you so much. I'm glad I asked the question.
You're welcome. I'm glad you did too. So who else, ladies? Anyone else?
I don't have much of a voice, but my question is, how do you niche down if you're multidimensional?
You know what? Thinking about that, to be honest with you, every single lady on this call is multidimensional. So when y'all get to know each other, you're going to actually transverse niching down even easier. So that's why I really want you all to really connect and talk with one another. I created that chat that I said I'm only gonna pop in so I can drop those, drop a few things here and there to bring to your attention in one setting. But I want you to define multidimensional so that I'm cueing into it well, and so that everyone here is familiar with it too.
Multidimensional also comes into, people say you're multi-passionate. You know, you're pretty great at a lot of things. Like my voice is one. Well, just not right now because it's not here. But my voice is one. How I speak, how I write, tech. That's like the secret sauce. People don't know I know a lot of tech, but there's that as well. But a lot of it won't really apply to my audience in a sense, because some of the chronic illnesses I have, people have never heard of. It's that rare. So it's like, how do you make sure that you still catering to the audience who's also you, without kind of like sacrificing a part of the other things that you're good at, if that makes sense? That's why I kind of consider myself a lifestyle brand and not just focusing on one specific area in regards to chronic illness, because I feel it's holistic and you have to focus on the whole person. So that's why I consider myself a lifestyle brand more than just a coach.
Got it. Well, this is the thing. The people that you attract are going to be multidimensional too. So they are going to be interested in the things you say. But this is the thing. One of the things that may be hard, well, it's not, because I was about to say connecting the tech to it might be, but there's certain technology that you utilize that makes it easier for you to be able to function with your chronic illness and to get things done in a timely manner without using so much energy, which reduces burnout, flares. And I'm connected. Do you see how I just connected my avatar and content pillars to your multi-dimensional areas with, I think some of y'all saw that. So I don't speak about technology much, but let me give an example. I will talk about, for instance, more in the future, how I utilize things like my HoneyBook to effectively manage my business, so that it's easier for me to not have to have multiple platforms or multiple systems that I have to utilize, when I can have one that can do 5 things, which is so much better for brain fog and for flare-ups. So that's one way that you connect it. When you're multidimensional, like I mentioned with Pam, who is also multidimensional too, with the various things that will fall under her content pillars. When you're building your content pillars, also document under those content pillars how all of the pieces of you fall under each one. And there is a way to make it fit, but to make it consistent. So do it in the way that I just showed, that even though technology isn't a part of mine, I will find a way to connect technology to proven strategies that work. Utilizing HoneyBook has been a successful way for me to manage my clients, to manage my emails, except for the snap flu, without realizing that y'all were actually replying back to each other. But remember, don't reply back to that one, reply direct to me. I digress. But so that's one thing. Self-advocacy, finding your voice. So mindset, it benefits my mindset in the sense that one of the things that can affect us is our feelings that we may become overwhelmed, that we may not be able to manage multiple things at one time. Well, how do we solve that? By developing systems and using systems and technology that can help to reduce those mindset issues and those barriers. So even I'm actually multidimensional, because I came in speaking to one community, which was chronic illness warriors, to educate them on how to improve the quality of their health and life. But now my client bases went to coaches and to brands. And then I also have connections with other things that may not have been consistent, but pay very close attention to my captions and how I find ways to connect things that may not have originally fit in with it, but then actually did. Did that help, Imani?
It helps some. Like, a lot of the tech I use is not specific to like a condition. I just like to research the heck out of it. Because of my experience of being an online business manager, I had to learn all the different types of tech that was out there. So I kind of like to talk about it, but in a different way, not specific to those who specifically are dealing with a chronic illness like I am.
Got it. So that's what you have to find out. What is your brand? Because if your brand is to communicate with the chronic illness community, then you have to speak to your audience about things that are going to connect with them. If your brand is going to be technology that is not associated with the chronic illness community, then you might have to do something that I usually don't recommend, but it's something that happens a lot, is create another page that specifically speaks to that. Because you have to find, when you are finding out who your niche is and who your content pillars are, you are not going to be, that goes back to the fact that we cannot serve everyone. And then not being able to serve everyone, we might have to create a separate place for those who are going to be a smaller group of people that don't really connect with this other group. If it's not a part of what your brand is and what you plan, because a zone of genius too is also cannot be everything. We can be multi-dimensional, but none of us can be perfect or exceptional in absolutely everything. When you pick that zone of genius or that thing that you have the overflow in, I want you to stick with that thing that is going to provide you, like I said, ceaseless and endless material that is really going to connect with your audience, because they're the driving force. My audience spoke to me today. There was a time where I wasn't putting a lot of nutrition on my page, but to be honest with you, a lot of my followers followed me because of nutrition in the early stages of me putting together little amateur videos. Well, today, and so I was just sporadically bringing it in, but that's when I would get the most followers, whenever I put a post about anti-inflammatory nutrition. Today, more than 24,000 views on that post, and more than almost, by now it might be 450 likes. What does that mean? That means every week I need to have a post, at least one post that talks about anti-inflammatory nutrition. I also put up into the stories about what would you like me to talk about? And I gave things that were part of my multi-dimensional, things that I love. But do you know what was the number one thing that they told me to post last week out of those 4 different things I post? Anti-inflammatory nutrition. And when I posted it this week, and that was in the stories and a question poll that I did, when I posted it this week, according to my views, it wasn't 1 million, but it's viral to me if it's 24,000 views and 450 likes. So you really have to figure out, what is your brand? Who are you really trying to serve? Because you're not going to be able to serve everyone. So, and if you want to serve a separate group, then you might have to consider doing what I usually recommend, but what does work for many others is having a separate page that is going to connect to the technology side if you can't connect it to your current brand. If your brand is wanting to connect with chronic illness warriors, you can't connect chronic illness warriors to technology. If your brand is technology, then don't worry about chronic illness warriors. Focus on them, and then maybe have a separate page that identifies with them. But when they're so far apart, it's going to be very hard to connect them. I'm sorry to say that. Did that help more?
Yeah, and I used to have 4 IG accounts. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I recommend no more than 2, but I recommend personally 1. But there is no way that you're going to be able to connect everything about you to it, because I even stopped putting information about. I used to do travel on a regular basis because I love travel. Travel is my medicine. But it was not something that necessarily connected with my audience. So we have to kind of pull, even though our audience is us, they don't connect to every part of us. So use your analytics to find out what part of you they connect with, and then have that be the driving force for your content.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I think the ladies who ask questions, you ask some really good ones, by the way. Like y'all ask some good ones. What I want you to do is we came up with some things. Do market research. And part of that market research should be also paying attention to your analytics. When did you get the most engagement? What topics did you get the most engagement on? Talk with your family members about what you're strongest in, and then connect that to what you'll utilize. Talk family, friends, associates, coworkers, whatever the case is, and then connect that to your avatar, your content pillars, and then be consistent in putting out information or material that's associated with that, so it'll connect with your audience. So definitely, but we're going to dig more into those things as we progress through the content of this course. Okay, so next week, everyone, is thriving with consistency. I don't think we had a question. I'm headed to a 7:30 meet. Yes, everybody is about thoroughly enjoyed the session. Thank y'all. This has been great. Excellent. I'm glad about that. So yeah, so we've touched on everything, and please go ahead also in advance, feel free to write down any questions that you may have. If I don't hit on it in the content, I can always try to get that question in the in QA. And I'm going to try to keep these at 90 minutes, y'all, because I ain't trying to, I know it's a long day for everybody, and our energies are waning. So You are welcome. Thank you, ladies, and have a wonderful evening. This has been a successful first session, and I appreciate you all for joining in. What I want you to do is connect with each other. Don't forget that. Y'all see each other, connect with each other. Let's do some collaborations. Let's do some side phone calls on IG or exchange numbers if you feel comfortable. Whatever the case is, you're going to be a great support for each other. Just really reach out to one another as well. Have a wonderful evening, and we are closing out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.